Let's head to the United States now because it's suspended intelligence sharing with Ukraine to increase the pressure to sign that minerals deal. Annelise Nielsen, our Washington correspondent, joins us now with the details. It's an unprecedented step with an ally, Annelise.
It is, and it is a serious ratcheting up of pressure against Ukraine. And from as much as you can argue about how much the US has spent in Ukraine on funding, on foreign aid, this is a step that really doesn't cost the US anything it wasn't already going to be spending. So for them to just cut this off is a real escalation. And they've been quite open saying this is to put pressure on Ukraine, that they want this minerals deal done and they don't want to keep cooperating with Ukraine if they're not moving towards peace. The Ukrainian president did send a letter to Donald Trump, somewhat apologising for the confrontation in the Oval Office last week. But as much as that might have softened the approach so that these conversations will start, it does show that they are willing to play hardball with an ally.
We have taken a step back and are pausing and reviewing all aspects of this relationship. But I just got off the phone before I walked out here with my counterpart, the Ukrainian National Security Advisor. We are having good talks on a location for the next round of negotiations, on delegations, on substance. So just in the last 24 hours, since the public statement from Zelensky, and then these subsequent conversations, which I'm going to walk inside and continue, I think we're going to see movement in very short order.
Everyone can see how fast diplomatic events are unfolding. Today, Ukrainian and American teams began working on an upcoming meeting. Andrei Yermak and Mike Waltz held talks, and we're seeing forward momentum. We hope to see the first results next week.
Now, when we talk about what allies mean to America now, these tariffs against Canada and Mexico have been key issues for the Trump administration as they're looking to reboot the US economy. But it has been absolutely toxic for the relationship with Canada. What we've seen since these tariffs were implemented yesterday is an angry response from Canada where they say they're being unfairly blamed for fentanyl coming into the United States. Now, the amount of fentanyl that does come into the United States across the Canadian border is less than 1% by official estimates, and that's according to the Canadians. I should put that caveat in there, but still it is very minimal. So it's seen as being just a kind of cover for the Trump administration. There has been this phone call between Trudeau and Donald Trump today as they try to work about potentially doing some kind of deal. Afterwards, Donald Trump put out a Truth Social statement where he detailed the phone call, saying, Justin Trudeau of Canada called me to ask what could be done about tariffs. I told him that many people have died from fentanyl that came through the border of Canada and Mexico, and nothing has convinced me that it has stopped. He said that it's gotten better, but I said that's not good enough. The call ended in a somewhat friendly manner. He was unable to tell me when the Canadian election is taking place, which made me curious, like, what's going on here? I then realised he's trying to use the issue to stay in power. Good luck, Justin. Now, Justin Trudeau has already stepped aside. His new leader is being picked next week. And I think Australians don't need a reminder that we don't know when elections are called in some countries, unlike America. So it seems like that was just him kind of needling at Trudeau. But what this does show is the US doesn't have any allies when they're talking about trade, which is exactly why it's going to be so difficult for Australia and trying to get exemptions for the steel and aluminum tariffs. Here's Peter Navarro, one of Trump's key trade advisors, speaking earlier today.
When we trade with the rest of the world, we don't have allies, we have competitors. Let's take Germany. Germany sells us 8 times more cars than we sell them. It's not about our product quality or craftsmanship. It's about the fact that German tariffs on autos are 4 times higher, 10% versus 2.5%.
So, Pete, while I'm told there continues to be high-level meetings between the trade team at the Australian Embassy, the ambassador with members of Trump's team, it does seem like it is becoming an increasingly impossible task for Australia to get any kind of exemption. And if that is to happen, it's more likely to happen after it's initially been implemented, and they'll want something in return.